Today, for our weekly devotional, I want us to look at Psalm chapter 15. Psalm chapter 15. And as you look over just at Psalm 14 to begin with, you notice that it describes how an unbeliever is. It characterizes an unbeliever. But in Psalm 15, we're going to see the characteristics of a believer, those who walk with God. And you can also look at this very practically as well. This describes someone who has a close, intimate relationship with God. And the psalmist asks some questions to begin with in verse 1. Notice verse 1, Psalm 15. O Lord, who shall sojourn in your tent? Who shall dwell on your holy hill? These questions are questions you should be asking yourself. They are asking, how can I be right with God? How can I enjoy a close relationship with God, the closest relationship possible, both in worship and in day-to-day life? But as a New Testament aside, we know that we are right only through Jesus Christ and what he did for us upon the cross. And so as we are right with Jesus and as we submit to the Holy Spirit's leading, obviously, as well as we live a righteous life with his help, we will be closer to the Father. So thinking about those questions, verse 2, it is he who walks blamelessly and does what is right and speaks truth in his heart. And so these are the answers to those questions, those two questions from verse 1. You can look at it as 3 L's. You have a right life or a good character. You have the right labor or right conduct. And you have right lips. That is, your conversation, your speaking is right. You can think of these as Galatians 5:22 through 23. These are the fruit of the Spirit in the Old Testament. And so verse 3. Who does not slander with his tongue and does no evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his friend. Where verse 2 is more general, this is more interpersonal. This is describing our relationships with others, our relationships with our speech and our actions, and the forgiveness that we have in our heart towards others. They're all stated negatively. We should seek not to hurt our neighbor, instead bless them. So verse 4, in whose eyes a vile person is despised, but who honors those who fear the Lord, who swears to his own hurt and does not change. And this may seem the opposite. And yes, we are to love our neighbor. We are actually to love our enemy as well. Because we love them doesn't mean that we accept everything they do and everything that they say. Actually, we despise the unrighteousness they stand for, the unrighteousness they say, and the unrighteousness that they do. Instead, we accept and honor believers, those who live a righteous life through Jesus Christ, as a regular part of their life. We also put others before ourselves. So verse 5, who does not put out his money at interest, and does not take a bribe against the innocent. Those who live a righteous life before God do not cheat others financially. They don't take advantage of others financially. Actually, we're disgusted with dishonest gain. And if these attributes are true, then the last part of verse 5 will be true in your life. He who does these things shall never be moved. If that is true in your life, you should have confidence. You have a right relationship with God. Again, through Jesus Christ. But you'll know that you enjoy intimacy with him in your life, in your worship, and in the private moments with him. Obviously, again, through his help.